In a grim turn of events, France has raised its counter-terrorism alert to the highest level after a knife attack at Gambetta High School in Arras. The assailant, identified as 20-year-old Russian national Mohammad Moguchkov, fatally stabbed a teacher and seriously wounded 2 others. Witnesses reported hearing the assailant shout, "Allahu Akbar," adding a chilling dimension to the incident. The attack unfolded at a critical time, with tensions escalating in France's Muslim and Jewish communities due to the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin emphasized a link between the Arras attack and the Israel-Hamas conflict. Moguchkov, of Chechen origin, was known to security services for his involvement with Islamist extremism. As a former pupil at the school, he had previously alarmed teachers with extremist language. Police detained several members of the assailant's family in connection with the incident. French Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne, in response to the security threat, elevated the alert level after a crucial meeting with President Emmanuel Macron. The incident echoes the tragic murder of teacher Samuel Paty 3 years ago and raises concerns about the persistence of Islamist attacks in France. President Macron condemned the barbarity of Islamist terrorism and called for unity in the face of adversity. The attack left a French-language teacher dead, having courageously intervened to protect others. Another teacher and a security guard sustained serious injuries, with the security guard in critical condition. A cleaner was also injured, while thankfully no children were harmed. The school community faced a moment of panic during the attack, barricading themselves until police arrived and immobilized the assailant. As France grapples with the aftermath of this latest attack, it serves as a stark reminder of the ongoing challenges posed by terrorism and religious tensions within the nation. The incident further underscores the need for heightened vigilance and security measures to ensure the safety of the public and educational institutions. Meanwhile, in a dramatic turn of events, Israel's military has issued an evacuation order to 1.1 million people in northern Gaza, signaling a potential escalation in retaliation for Hamas's recent terror attacks on October 7th. Israeli warplanes have continued to bombard the region, prompting a mass exodus of civilians toward the south. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, dropped leaflets from planes, urging Gazans to evacuate for their safety and distance themselves from Hamas, accusing the group of using civilians as human shields. However, the United Nations and humanitarian organizations, including the Norwegian Refugee Council and Amnesty International, have strongly criticized the evacuation order, citing the dangers of moving a large population in a densely populated war zone. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres expressed concern over the evacuation order, stating that moving over 1 million people in a territory under siege is extremely dangerous and, in some cases, not possible. The humanitarian groups argue that the forced relocation amounts to the war crime of forcible transfer, violating international law. While Israel initially suggested a tight deadline for the evacuation, IDF spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner acknowledged that the process would take time. Some Gazans have chosen to stay, expressing the belief that nowhere is safe amidst the ongoing conflict. As tensions rise, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hinted at more retaliation, declaring that the past 6 days of airstrikes on Gaza are just the beginning. Israel has amassed troops and military equipment at the border, raising concerns about a potential ground incursion into Gaza. The blockade on essential supplies, including electricity, food, water, and fuel, has led to warnings of a humanitarian crisis. The international community, including the United States, is pressing for safe passage for aid into Gaza, emphasizing the urgent need for a diplomatic resolution to prevent further escalation and mitigate the humanitarian impact on civilians. Meanwhile, in a stark assessment, Jamie Dimon, the chief executive of Morgan Chase, has issued a warning about the world facing potentially the most dangerous time in decades. Dimon, who leads America's largest bank, expressed deep concern about the economic risks stemming from escalating geopolitical tensions, particularly citing the wars in Ukraine and Israel. Speaking as the firm reported a robust quarterly profit of $13 billion, a 35% increase from the same period in 2022, Dimon highlighted the potential impacts on energy and food prices, global trade, and geopolitical relationships. Dimon emphasized the numerous uncertainties the world is currently facing and urged investors to prepare for higher interest rates, persistent inflation, and fallout from violent conflicts. The recent attacks by the Palestinian militant group Hamas in Israel and the ongoing war in Ukraine are contributing factors to the heightened risks. Citigroup's chief financial officer, Mark Mason, also acknowledged the uncertainty surrounding the economic effects of these conflicts during discussions on the bank's results with investors. Known for his outspoken stance on political matters, Jamie Dimon condemned the attacks by Hamas, declaring the bank's solidarity with the people of Israel. He addressed the ongoing violence in a conference call with investors, expressing deep sadness about the recent horrific attacks and asserting that terrorism and hatred have no place in a civilized world. As global leaders grapple with diplomatic challenges and financial institutions closely monitor the evolving situation, Dimon's warning underscores the complex and perilous nature of the current geopolitical landscape, emphasizing the need for vigilance and preparedness in the face of mounting uncertainties.